Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and a new video. You can probably just about make out outside. It's dusk and I got home, put a video out. You'll be watching that now, which is a Peugeot Boxer, the final video. And somebody on Instagram messaged me again, who I've been trying to get hold of with a car for sale. And I think he's got private number blocked, so it just kept going to his voicemail. I left him a voicemail and I've just tried him again. And he was telling me all about the car. And I said, you know what? Can I just come down and have a look at it? So back to the yard. No tea for me tonight until I get home, which is going to be quite late. It's not that far, only Canterbury in Kent. So we have he's told me all about the car. I said, yeah, it sounds really, really nice. I think I'll come down and have a look, but we'll go in the truck. There's no point, even though it's only Canterbury, there's no point doing 2 round trips, is there? So I'm going to head down there, have a look at the car. Fingers crossed it's all alright, and if it is, we're going to buy this one. We haven't had one on the channel before, but if you're watching this video, I guess you would have seen it in the thumbnail. As usual guys, like any vehicle we buy, I am going to do a quick car vertical check on it before I set off, more than anything. And if there's anything untoward, I won't be setting off. I'll be ringing him back and telling him I ain't coming. So we'll do that check, and if that all checks out, we'll head down there. So I've punched a reg into car vertical guys, and it's come up Subaru Impreza. Theft okay, accidents okay. Obviously it's never been a cab. It possibly could have been, because it's an import. It just spotted up there that there will be some elements of the check missing. So stolen vehicle check. This check was performed in all of these countries: Romania, Czech Republic, Canada, Sweden, Slovenia. There's no mileage history of the car currently available. No damage reported. And this is a list of country that the entire check was performed in. So United Kingdom, US, Poland, France, Canada, just to name a few. There is a lot of countries where these cars are checked. Title checks, everything there seems to be okay. No, look, it's even got their record of saltwater damage, no. Record of vandalism, no. Record of dismantled. It just literally goes through every avenue there that could have happened to the car. Record of owner retained. So it just shows you guys, these checks are always worth doing for a peace of mind. Rough amount of time it takes to sell one of these vehicles when you advertise it, 34 days. Specs and equipment, again, there's not going to be much on here, and it did say that. What I will do is just show you a quick example of what one would look like if there was any serious issues. So I always head back to the faithful Lamborghini that we was originally going to purchase from Copart guys. So Lamborghini unknown, and sure as anything, you can see it there, highlighted in amber, accidents. And this actually goes all the way back to the original country where this car was purchased. Tells you all the auction dates, the dates the vehicle was written off. And also on this particular report, there's actually pictures of the previous damage of that vehicle before it was imported to the UK. So to benefit from a 10% discount off your check, use the link in the description or the code SRUK from any browser. I want to thank Car Vertical once again for the continued support on these must-do checks on the channel. Guys, we know there's 2 rules that we should go by, don't we? And I'm breaking both of them here. Do not buy a car in the rain, and certainly don't buy a car in the dark. And I'm going completely against all of that. To be fair, I've just had a good look round it with a chap. He's bought a torch out. It is what it is. It's a very, very old car, M-Reg. So it has got a few dents in it. There's a lot of paint chipping off. I don't believe this kit is original, so that's probably why that's all coming off. There's various other little blemishes in the paint where it's all peeling off, but I think they're a classic now. It's got the big spoiler on it. Back lights are awful. It's got the Lexus style lights, but it is a Jap import, as we know. It's got a huge, I mean, that's got to be the biggest exhaust pipe I've ever seen on a car. Look, there's a lot more room, that even with my wrist in there. Bit of rusty water running down there. Nice car though, you don't see many of these in white anymore. Definitely not. It is all unlocked. It smells very, very musty. The guy was in the army, got deployed, never really got round to using it. Look at the tiny little steering wheel in it. And it's just sat around for quite a long time. So yeah, various little marks and that around it. Hasn't tried to start it. The brake calipers have been removed because they would see solid. They're in the boot. There's quite a lot of surface rust under here, and that intercooler looks like it's seen better days, doesn't it? But guys, we ain't had a Subaru on the channel. Like I said, I've turned up in the truck. Let's get in there and pay the man for it. Let's have it. It's not a dear car. It's really not. It's not what he's asking for it. I don't think it is, and I think this is going to be really, really enjoyable for you guys to watch. Oh guys, that was quite funny actually. I've just turned up at the yard, showed Chris, and he said, you definitely bought this one in the dark, Rob, didn't you? It's not as nice as it looked in the dark, but the chap was completely open and honest, and he said, before I even went, Rob, it needs a bit of work. It does look quite sore. He got deployed and it just got left in his garden, and it's been there ever since. The front brake calipers, he said, was C solid, so it's actually in the boot, so it's got no front caliper on it this side. That's going to need a dressing. All of the tyres look flat, and the marks around it look a lot more predominant. This door is full of car park dings, but I'm still adamant it was a little bargain. It was a cheap car, and where do you see these anymore? You don't see many of these classic shape Imprezas on the road anymore. You can tell by that cutout there and the fog light that's under there that it is a Jap import. There's a lot of telltale signs. I'm not sure what kit this is on there. I've had a few of these when I was younger, and I'm not sure that they had that kit on them. This side actually looks a lot better, and it's only the side skirt that's making it look so sore. I'm sure this would actually look a lot more presentable, cleaned up. We've got the caliper on this side, so you can see it hasn't moved. I think first thing we're actually going to start with is I'm going to whip the battery off. I'm going to get that on charge, and then I'm going to start the truck and run the pump out and actually try and get some air in these tyres. I'm going to have to be careful unloading it because obviously we've got no brakes. We've only got a caliper this side. I believe there's two calipers in the boot, so that rear one's on there, that front one's on there. Yeah, that rear caliper's removed, and as is that front one. So let's get the battery off it first. It's got an alarm on it as well. We're gonna have to mess around with it. It'd be nice to get the tyres pumped up and then maybe try and get it running. He did say the interior lights in the boot, but he said there was actually a monitor bolted to the ceiling, and you could play DVDs for people that was in the back. I'm not sure they'd be able to hear it with the size of that exhaust pipe, but yeah, it's got a nice little DVD player there, and as you can see, it looks like it's got upgraded speakers in it as well. I might be wrong, but no, they are upgraded. CT, I think they say on them. So anyway, most important thing is getting it off the back of this truck. So let's get the battery off, get that charged, and we'll go from there. So guys, got the battery off, and you would have seen that I run one of the little 12-volt pumps from the truck to this wheel. Got 30 in that one, got that all pumped up. And then this one I sort of done a bit of a jerry rig with a jump pack and the other pump. Got 30 in that one, that's all pumped up. Actually I can show you. So I've got the little pump, and I've got this topped on booster. It's not actually a jump, it is a jump pack, but it's a jump starter. So I keep pressing boost every sort of 90 seconds just to get that. to keep that going, but it's got 10 psi in it now. Then we'll run it from that to that front one from the truck to actually get that one pumped up. And then what I'll do, that weren't 90 seconds guys, was it? The battery's on charge, about 30 minutes that takes. So as soon as these are pumped up, we'll go out, we'll go in, get the battery, get that put back on it. We may have to go and get, that's definitely not 90 seconds, we may have to go and get a battery for the key fob. It's got a Clifford alarm on it, a 4-button alarm, so we're going to get that sorted. Then I suppose we'll get it unloaded and try and run it up. I've just been having a little look underneath of that while I was walking around, and this actually looks quite clean underneath. Yeah, it's got some oil residue and some surface rust, but you look at it under there guys, that front balance, it actually looks okay. Yeah, that's no good, is it? I'll get it unloaded and do that. I know for you guys it's only like seconds, but I've actually still been continuing on getting those two wheels pumped up on the other side, and I thought I'd get them done first. I'll pop the battery in, put the live on. We've just got the earth air to put on, and we're going to have a play around with the button. I don't know if there's any power in the key fob, so we'll have a play around with that. Fingers crossed that'll work. If it doesn't, we'll have to go and get a battery for it. But guys, in the boot there's a couple of spats there. I don't know if they're off the front or back bumper, must be off the front one, and both calipers are in there, so hopefully we can actually get those freed off. It's only going to be the pins that are seized, and we can get them put back on with some pads in it, because ultimately we're going to get it running. There's quite a bit of damp in here. Get it running, we're going to need it to stop as well. There is also 2 new cam belts in there for it, auxiliary belt, a new CV boot for the steering rack. So the guy knew what was advisories on the last MOT and what he wanted to do, so a little bit longer in this tyre and then we'll try and fire it up. Whilst the chap told me that this definitely runs, he just hasn't run it for quite a long time. He moved it sometime last year, so he also warns me that the alarm, if it goes off, it's going to be very, very loud. So guys, I'm going to pre-warn you, I may have to mute some of this out. If I connect the battery and it starts screaming, etc., then I will have to mute some sound out, so there may be quiet patches, but let's give it a go. It's got 2 chances, hasn't it? Right, well the fob's working because that turned it off. God, that was loud. We've got no ignition lights. Let's push some more buttons. We have now, and fuel pump. Well, that's actually shocked me because that sounds sweet as a nut. Sounds really, really good, guys. I was looking when I unloaded it, that exhaust pipe is for aesthetics because inside there it's actually a lot smaller. Is that missing? I don't think it is it? I have checked the oil, the water, everything seemed fine. That really does sound well. We'll let it warm up a little bit and give it a couple of revs. Well, he was a man of his word, that's all I'm going to say. You can hear
hear that rattling?
Yeah, it's got a clutch, it's moving. Heat because it's been sat for a while. Of course the brake light's going to be on, isn't it? I can't believe that. Let's get it inside the yard. Guys, I'm just going to bring the car into the yard. I'd like to get some of this muck off of it and have a look what we have got. Chris, you're going to take them in,
yeah,
and have a little bit of a...
Just see if I can see what the crack is with them.
See if the piston's seized or the slider pins.
Yeah, looks like you can't just take the slider right off.
No.
You can take that bolt out by the look of it and pivot it round, but that one looks like that's made in there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
So
that looks like an exhaust bracket and half a rattle.
Is there?
Start it up. Yeah, that's exactly what that is, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, I'll take them in and have a little play, shall I?
All right then, mate. Guys, a lot of you are going to say, why didn't you just bring it straight into the yard and pump the tyres up? Chris was actually working on another project, and of course we don't like to give one video away when we're in the middle recording another one. So Chris is going to have a go at them. I'm going to pull this in the yard. Chris is cracking on in there, and I think he's freed off the front brake caliper at the moment. Well, the note in him hitting the caliper is changing, so I'm assuming that it's freeing off. Guys, we have decided we're going to give it a bit of a clean, see what we're up against, and see what it's like underneath all that dirt and grime. So a bit of a warning, all detailers, look away now. Let's carry straight on with it. I'm actually going to give that a good 15-20 minutes to soak right in, eat away at any grime, and then we'll give it a wash, guys. And I'm doing that due to all of you guys saying to me, Rob, you really need to leave that on there, not use it as a soap. So I've knocked up a nice, I'll get it out in a minute, nice bucket of wash and wax. So we'll let that soak in for a little while, and then we give it a wash and wax. Certainly looks nice now though, doesn't it? It's come up really nice, guys, and you could see it was a nice car underneath, but does need its fair share of paintwork. Yeah, Dent Man will probably be able to get most of that out. I'm thinking, was they black and someone's painted them white, and that's why they've all chipped off so much? You can see there's quite a few little marks, but this would polish up nice. It's the original paint, and you can see it's never had any paint. So let's have a little quick walk around the outside. All these little bits, they are just little bits, but all of that come up really nice. Like I say, it is just all of this after trim. Do you know what? To pull that all off and actually paint it black and put it back on would probably tidy this right up. We know that that'll polish out. There's obviously there's holes in there, so there's a bolt in there, isn't there, that's got rust on it, and it's dropped down there. That'll polish off, very, very easily, that will. As will that. Yeah, I think running around this with a polisher, you could probably tidy it up to look pretty nice, you know. Typical, it's locked itself. I hope I've still got the keys. It's open now. It's open now. Central locking works, all the windows work. I'm going to give it... There's a lot of dust and debris in it. I'm going to give it a little quick spruce up in here. See what this comes up like. Guys, look how small that steering wheel is. It's tiny. Right, let's get a little hoover out. Vacuum out. It was never going to be beautiful, guys, but cleaned up all right in there. A quick run around with a vacuum. Just picked up all of the loose stuff. All of the stuff that was all over the back seats. There was quite a lot of hair and bits and pieces. Done all the backs of the seats. And it's all come up very, very nice. So, I think that's it for the outside of the car. So guys, coming into this video, we had a little bit of a plan. When I picked it up last night, obviously when I got in this morning, I said to Chris, let's just try and do one video on this car. Let's try and get the brakes working, let's get it running, get it driving, get it cleaned up, etc, etc. But as usual, it never works out like that. So is it the rear one you've managed to unfree?
Yeah, the rear one's fine.
The rear one, Chris has unseized that pin to the point where he could pull the pin out. He's cleaned it up and he's re-greased it and it slides perfectly. So the rear caliper can go back on. The front one, he said, it's moved slightly, but he don't want to just keep hitting it with the hammer.
The pistons are all right.
The pistons are fine.
It's just a slider, yeah.
A slider. And you stopped doing it because you don't want it to break. You just said it needs time.
Well, I tried to undo it and it's going to snap.
Right, okay guys, hopefully you could hear Chris there. He said it's just going to snap the head off of it. So the best thing to do, best course of action, is actually leave it overnight in soak. He's got that soak in now. So we are actually going to do one more video on that, and I think it's going to be quite a good video. We've had a little bit of a chat, aren't we? And I'm not going to elaborate on what we're going to do in that next video, am I? But
well, other than we're going to put the brake calipers on, aren't we?
Yeah.
And then we'll be able to see if it drives all right.
Be able to see if it drives all right.
Go from there.
Yeah, go from there. We've got a little bit of a plan, guys, and hopefully, I mean, quite a lot of you are going to leave a comment anyway with your ideas and thoughts on this one, but like I said, we're not sorry. Chris did ask me when I was out there cleaning it, he went, Rob, make sure you make a note of telling everyone we are not restoring this car. It's just every time we get an older car in, we get so many people drop comments saying, I can't wait to see you nut and bolt restoration this car. We get it a lot, believe it or not, guys. So we're not doing a nut and bolt restoration, but there is going to be one more video on it. We're going to leave it there for today. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Instagram for the little sneak peeks at Salvage Rebuilds. Check out the merchandise as well. The link is down there in the description for that. Like, subscribe and share, and we'll see you very, very soon in the next one.